Hi, I'm Paddy O'Reilly and I'm an author. My book, Other Houses, is the story of a house cleaner whose husband disappears. She goes to search for him and we see the two stories of Lily, the house cleaner, and Jenks, her husband, factory worker, and what happens to them along the way. So that's the story of the book, but what is the book about? It's about what people will do to give their children a better chance than they've had. It's about the incredible and growing wealth disparity in this country, and I think probably globally, and how it makes life so much more difficult for people who are living on a low income. And when something catastrophic happens, they've got no fat, they've got nothing to fall back on. So what are they going to do? And that's what you'll find out when you read the book. No, this is actually my 6th book and my 4th novel, but it's the first time in Australia I've had a hardback. My publisher is Affirm Press, who I love, and I think they are a wonderful publisher with a really big heart. I've always been interested in people who are struggling and writing about that and finding out how they live and how they all pretty much try and do better than they started. And yeah, many of my stories have come from that. And this one, I actually wrote the first chapter as a short story. Couldn't let those people go. Could not let those people go. I really wanted to see them through. What was your worst writing-related nightmare? To be honest, it was last night. And I had a dream because I have a launch coming up, and I dreamed that my face was covered in some kind of mystery muck that I couldn't get off, and I couldn't go to the launch because of the mystery muck on my face. And I thought, this is so Freudian, and I just don't even want to think too hard about it. No, I'm not a full-time author. I don't think I've ever met a full-time author. I would love to be, so maybe if enough people buy my book, I will one day be a full-time author. Affirm Press helped because they, when they take on an author, have a lot of faith in them and will be encouraging and helpful to get you over the line. And also, oddly enough, the pandemic helped, not just because I was locked at home, but because in the pandemic it became very clear when everyone lost their job how precarious people's lives were, and it really pushed me to move on and finish this book about just those kinds of people. So I think my genre is literary, but perhaps with a little sauce of thriller. And by that I mean I hope that you really want to read on and find out what happens to these people that you're propelled through. I think I wanted to be a writer, but I didn't believe I could be a writer. I think that's common enough. And my high school teacher told me I should be a writer, and I completely ignored her because I had no confidence. But then, I went back to uni late and did a degree, and you could do writing then. And I did a writing subject, and I thought, yep, this is it. I really want to do this. Nobody gets to read my first draft because that's too scary. It could be complete and utter crap. So I really don't want anyone to see it. Yes, the process, there are many parts of the process that I love, but the parts that I dread are, and I think I'm unusual in this, is actually getting the first words on the page. So I know a lot of people love to write the first draft. For me, the great part about the writing is the rewriting and the shaping and forming and making it the best it can be. That early first draft is like, it's like pulling words out of me with tweezers. Or these lucky dip questions are dangerous. This one's not. Are you a cat or dog person? If either, I am so dog. I am so dog. In fact, I've had dogs most of my life, and a year ago I trained a dog for a year as an assistance dog for a veteran with PTSD. He was the most beautiful dog, and now he's off with his veteran doing his job. I read other books all the time, so non-stop, and I do know people who can't read because they think they're going to somehow accidentally copy or be influenced by what they're reading. But for me, sometimes even when I'm in the middle of a draft, I'll read a sentence in another book and it will be so inspiring, it'll just make me want to rush back to the desk. Reading is great in so many ways. At the moment, I'm reading a book by my publisher, put out by my publisher, called Son of Sin, which is very poetic and quite fascinating about a world that I'm not normally privy to. And I'm reading, there's never just one, so I'm reading Checkout 19 by Mary Louise Bennett, which is amazing, beautifully written and weird and fantastic. And I've just finished, I know I'm late to the party, Axiomatic by Maria Tumarkin, which is just phenomenal, a phenomenal book and really made me think. Next, I am in the middle of another draft of another book. It's the hard part where I've got the tweezers out, one word, next word. That's what's now. And when it will be finished, who knows? I'm actually a pretty slow writer. Thank you. It's been a delight. And luckily that second mystery question was a beautiful one for me.